Hi, I'm Josh Carving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video, but first, Sanji versus Rock Lee. I know I'm kind of starting to sound like a broken record with some of these, but it basically did turn out exactly as I thought it would. With the 1 feet from the movie, they got him up to about 9 times light speed, which I'm pretty sure is faster than even the fastest Naruto speed feats, so it did basically kind of put the brakes right on to Lee, someone who can only really keep up in terms of strength and such on a very tight battery. Um, that brings us to the animation. I thought the animation itself was fairly good. The puppet animation style was a little bit interesting for this one. I didn't quite think that it was perfect. Just that there were a couple times where there was like distinct gaps between the joints and it didn't quite hold up quite as well. And a lot of the times though I thought it did work. But one of the big issues I think that I had with the fight is Lee in general. I think Sanji was pretty well pulled off for the whole thing, but Lee, just as a whole, didn't really come across very well in this fight. There were a couple reasons for that. One is that he was entirely out of character. Like, I know they have to come up with a reason for the characters to fight, but it's actually like a character trait of Lee's that he loves all food, and like, I don't know. Just him getting angry and insulting about the food was a really weird choice. Next was the voice actor. I know the guy's really trying. Like you can tell that he's like putting a lot of heart and soul into the performance, but I just don't really think that the voice fit very well for Rock Lee, and it was pretty distracting. I found it kind of pulled me a bit out of the fight. And then the last thing that I felt like was really weird for Lee was the fact that he like once he went into the gates, he was blowing through the gates. Like, I'm pretty sure he went from 5 to not to the 8th gate in probably like 15 to 20 seconds. Like, definitely a bit of a speed through those, so it made each one feel like it had like kind of no impact. Um, so it was an okay fight. I didn't really find it in the top half of the season, I would say. And with that, we do have the end of the season coming up, which, as we knew from even before this episode was aired, Hulk versus Broly. We gotta calm down on these comic book fights for next season. It's kind of been killing my drive to do as many predictions with how many are comic characters. But we do ultimately have this last one, and yeah, as it was before, comic books reign supreme, as always. I know Dragon Ball is an incredibly powerful universe, and even if they are using both the old Broly and the new one combined, it doesn't really end up mattering. So, let's assume that we are using peak stats possible for the Dragon Ball characters. So that would essentially mean that you have the numbers that they put out for Beerus versus Galaxia. We'll just scale Broly right up to Beerus's energy wave throughout the universe that was destroying it, which I believe was a couple quadrillion, if I recall, which is definitely fast. The issue is that Hulk, which you might think this is pretty crazy, but Hulk's faster and stronger. Him being stronger probably isn't all that surprising. He's like tanked attacks from pretty much like everyone in Marvel ever. Like off the top of my head, Galactus, Hercules, Gladiator, Silver Surfer, all these various characters of which are very universal, like multiversal, because there's a couple interesting things about the Marvel Universe in that it is also, like the DC Universe, larger than the normal one. The size of it is, I think I saw some number, like, it's calculations that put it at about, like, 2,200 and something times larger than our universe. So that's something. So for someone like the Silver Surfer, who has maintained an energy source that kept two universes around, that feat is a lot higher than it sounds, just because of the scopes of their respective universes. And when Hulk is just out here beating the shit out of everyone, like it's just funny how it ends up just going to him just through beating all these characters. There was, I believe, a character named Hypnos, who he, like, overtook in a race and snapped his goddamn neck. And this guy was someone who, like, blitzed Hermes, who has, like, a couple hundred quintillion times the speed of light feet, which just blows him right by Broly. And when it comes to Dragon Ball characters, a lot of the times they don't really have hacks or too many abilities. It's really more just they punch, they kick, they're really fast, and they throw energy balls and energy beams in various ways. It's pretty rare in Dragon Ball that you actually get characters who have any, like, hacks, and if they do, it's kind of their whole shtick. Characters like Ginyu, who could, like, mind swap and things like that. So this fight literally just does come down to being Hulk stat block against Broly stat block, and in that case, Hulk just kind of comes out on top pretty effortlessly. It's basically a blitz and a one-shot, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. The fight looks pretty cool so far. The shading on Hulk might take some getting used to, but the song that they released for it is actually really cool. Feels a bit weird that it's as subdued as it is. It's kind of interesting. Like, it definitely sounds more like it's leaning into like a kind of classic Dragon Ball kind of sound for it. But it's good. I do like it. It's just surprising that it's not, like, harder and heavier for two characters whose theme is basically angry green violence. So, well, I quite like it. So we'll see what ends up happening, and I will probably put out another video after the fight, just going over my thoughts on the season, along with if there is any sort of hint, such as what they aired last time, for the end of last season. They showed like Sindel, Krona, I think it was Obi-Wan, Beerus, Danny Phantom, and Miles Morales. Right. That showed those six. So I'm wondering if we are going to get another indication at the end of this episode for next season. So I will discuss that in the next video that I do. So I'll see you guys then, and have yourselves a great day.